Day 2 in Naples, and we're heading outside Naples. We're going to Pompeii, the historical site. Obviously Mount Vesuvius erupted. When you're here, ladies and gentlemen, spend the money on getting a taxi. Not too much. So basically we're going to get a cab to Pompeii. They said €35 each way, €70 in total. We agreed, and then all of a sudden he changed it to €65 each way, so whatever that is, €130. And then we said no, and he said 55 each way, and we said no. He said 35, he said can't do. So we ended up booking a coach to take us to Pompeii, 9:15 coach, in the Italian way that we've seen throughout our trip. Pure chaos ensued. The coaches just stop wherever the hell they want, and well, it turns out our coach is saying on time, but it's actually a no-show. So this very kind driver, he's going to Pompeii. It's not our coach. He's allowed us on, which means we are going to be late to our booking to Pompeii. But so basically, ladies and gentlemen, put aside €110 and get a fucking taxi, because it is pure chaos. Pure chaos. We run to the bus stop to get the 9:15. We was there at around about 9:05. Waited, loads of coaches here, none of which go to Pompeii. We have no idea whether the bus that we've booked actually exists, but nevertheless, as I say, a very kind man has allowed us on this coach. He said he's going to Pompeii. It's not our bus, but he will take us. Yeah. So pure chaos, ladies and gentlemen. The Italians love chaos. I can only describe this morning as the Italians know what that means. We are now at a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the site of Pompeii, where in 79 CE Mount Vesuvius erupted, destroying the entire city and neighbouring cities, creating 20 feet of concrete which submerged Pompeii. This is the beginning of it. Get your tickets before you come, because again, you're skipping the line. And bring ID, bring your passports. We didn't have our passports. They do accept driving license, but yeah, just bring your passports. Saves a lot of hassle. The buses, man, just pay the money, get a cab, because yeah, what's a palaver this morning. But there we go. Let's show you around. The first stop is a gym and a hotel for the gladiators. You can see in the distance Mount Vesuvius. It's crazy to think that this wasn't actually found until the 1700s. I think they began digging it out. You can see the theatre seats that they used to obviously watch gladiators doing their thing. It's amazing how well preserved everything is. It's almost as if, you know, you could come and live here again, you know. It's so well preserved. There is an audio guide, but I don't like listening to shit, man. I just try and hear what the tour guides are saying. But there you go. It's crazy to imagine the sights that they would have seen here. As I say, it's quite eerie that Mount Vesuvius just pokes its head up throughout it. But here was a small theatre down into the grand theatre, the big theatre, which is up there. The small theatre was for midgets. That's a joke. The big theatre was for everyone else. That's a joke. Okay, I'm not a tour guide. Come here yourself if you want the historic facts. And here is the Grande Teatro, Grand Theatre. It's quite a boring show going on there, isn't it? It's insane to just imagine the things that would have gone on here all those years ago. It's crazy. Just so you know, it's sweltering again, guys. It's absolutely sweltering again, you know. You might see a lot of wet backs, a lot of wet heads, you know. A lot of wet other things, because I'm here. If you know what I mean. So this theatre held up to 5,000 people. I believe Pompeii had a population of around 20,000 people, so a quarter of their population could have fitted inside this theatre. The little white seats here are the comfortable seats, the VIP seats for your celebrities. I don't know who was a celebrity back in 79 CE. You know, whether they had their own version of, you know, Pompeii's Got Talent, I don't know. Or, you know, was I watching that Index Saturday Night Takeaway? Because those teams have been around for fucking years. They've way overstayed their fucking welcome on British television. Let me tell you that now. That's a fucking run I could have. I could write about Ant and Dec all bloody day. But we're here for Pompeii. We're here for the history of Pompeii. We can walk up to the top. It's so fucking hot though. Do I really want to do it? Do I want to walk up there? So hot. Do I take this with me? Decision's going to be made. You'll find out in the next second. Any West Ham fans with me on this journey? It's a better fucking stadium than the London Stadium, that's for sure. Yeah, I gave him, we're doing the walk, it took all of 1 second to decide. We can sort of show you the view actually. I don't know, I think Mount Vesuvius is that way. As I say, yeah, 5,000 people would have sat in here and watched God knows what. Geezer with a lion being mauled to death, more than likely. But let's see the view. You're closer to the pitch than London Stadium as well, which is I like. So there we go. It's eerie. It's very eerie to see that Mount Vesuvius just pokes its head up everything. But the view is spectacular. I mean, actually, I don't know whether that one's Mount Vesuvius or that one. One of them. You can figure it out. But here would have been where the poor people sat. So that's where I belong. And yeah, okay, so that one is Mount Vesuvius. Someone did point for me down there. Very helpful. Very helpful to the idiots that walk around here. Excuse my breathing. It's fucking hot. It's fascinating to be here. It's a World Heritage Site now. So you see little pylons here. It's a temple of Isis. I don't think that was around back then. No wonder things have been no jokes. This is a graveyard. So some respect. The temple of Isis, ladies and gentlemen. Interesting. I'm actually very honoured to be here. I really, really am. It's something I wanted to see for years. Just what I want to get into, you know, where like the houses were. That's the bit I'm looking forward to. That's where the jokes will stop, ladies and gentlemen. That's where the jokes will stop. In the temple of Isis, they used to sacrifice us on the altar, ladies and gentlemen. It helps when someone listens to the audio guide because I don't have to. That's how I'm getting my facts, you know. I don't like listening, I like looking. I guess on to the next thing. We'll stay here for a minute and let that stream of sweat from the neck reach my arsehole, and then we move on to the next one. We are walking on the actual road that would have been used all them years ago. This would have been alive with people. 20,000 people lived here. It's crazy. I'm assuming, this could be wrong, I'm assuming that's like a drain, just the way it sort of curves. Maybe they used to throw their waste, don't know. I'm assuming, but we're heading towards where the houses are. I think a lot of the people have been moved away now. I'm not too sure, but I think a lot of them have been placed in museums, which I don't actually agree with. I think they should have stayed where their final resting place was, in my opinion. But that's just me. That's just my view. Someone will say something different. So you'll be able to see the temple a little bit clearer. There you go. So that's the temple. So on the altar they used to do sacrifices. That's fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. It's definitely a must do. You can come from Rome or Naples. They're both obviously Naples is closer, but you can come from Rome. on one of the roads you actually see the grooves of the carriages still preserved, which is insane. It might be here. Yeah, so here's where the carriage tyres used to ride up and down this road. All the way up, you can see the little grooves still here. Crazy that a lot of these things have been preserved all the way down. So here's where all the carriages would have driven down. It's crazy. We're heading towards the houses, but look at it. It's just mad. Absolutely mental to be here. And just in the distance, Mount Vesuvius still pokes his head over there, looking over the destruction that the volcano caused. You know, I said he there. Maybe I'm misgendering the volcano, but to me, causing that much destruction, the volcano must be a he. Women don't cause that much destruction; they're a lot more nicer. Insane. I'm assuming that these are houses. This is the street. They had all like numbers to their names. This is saying 79 CE, I believe August. The volcano erupted on the morning. Smoke went above the earth 20 meters, I think, or 12 meters up in the air. By the afternoon, acid rain began to fall down on the people of Pompeii. Many tried to flee, but due to the rain, due to the ash, a lot of the roads become too unsafe to drive on, so many sort of took cover in their houses. And then by the evening, the pyroclastic surge was the word that we use. Someone might have a much easier word to follow, but the pyroclastic surge swept through Pompeii, killing people almost sort of instantly upon contact. But you know, they would have seen it coming down the mountainside. They would have seen it coming. I mean, what would have gone through your head knowing that was upon you? I know many men would joke and say they'd have, you know, pleased themselves one last time. But if this happened in modern day time, you'd be on page 200 and you wouldn't have made a decision of what to watch yet, would you, for being real? So I don't think you would have, but you'd have just been there with your phone. You got to page 200 and you got no further. That's real fascinating. And they was buried in 20 feet of concrete, and artifacts were found by nearby farmers for many years after, but they never begun the excavation until the 1700s. And then obviously nowadays it's become a World Heritage Site to come to. Casa del Sei. I'm assuming that means home, so we will be entering that. So yeah, stay tuned. We will be inside. Lucius Sicaius, whatever, used to live here. This is the last sort of remaining evidence of what a mansion would have looked like back in ancient Italy, ancient Rome, I assume. I mean, look at the detail of the everything. Yeah, somebody touched the wall, that's why you can shout at that, not me. I am innocent. But look at the details that's been left here. After years of being buried in concrete, and it's still got all the colouring. It's fascinating. It really is fascinating. We'll go through here. I do question some people's intelligence when they touch the walls of ancient things like this. You know, what are you touching it for? But look at that! Wow. I live in a new build house, white walls. Look what they had back then. This is fascinating. It's going to be a long video. This might be coming out in parts, or we might just leave it till to YouTube. Look at the tiles. Look at that. The mosaic. This is another move. Look at this. The detailing that survived. Not only has it survived the initial volcano, but then it's survived so many years, thousands of years of being buried. Plus hundreds of years then being discovered, it still survived. You can imagine the parties and things that would have occurred here, the rich parties and the visitors. There's stairs leading up to, I should do the D on Dublin, there's the stairs leading up to the bedroom. And he had a garden. It's fascinating. House of Menander. 200 BC. Construction in 200 BC. And he had a garden. It's better than most houses nowadays. We're being honest. You could still move people in, you know, obviously they never will because it's a historical site, but people could still live here, you know. Everything's still structurally intact. That's what sort of sends a bit of shivers down your spine, is that people could theoretically still live here with how well it's been preserved. All I can say is this, I'm fascinated. I haven't really got much else to say other than I am fascinated, all jokes aside. You know, this is a graveyard, this is a grave site. So many people have passed away. Look at the details of the wall. So fascinating. We have our first remnants of human life. There we go. I'm going to render look at the beds. This would have been a bedroom. I don't know whether a main bedroom, a guest bedroom, but look how it's many preserver pots, pans, God knows what would have been in there. And then we've got the preservation of a chariot over here. It's fascinating. The camera picks it up. You can just about make an outline there of a ship. To say that the person who used to live in this particular house was a sailor. So I don't know whether you can sort of make it out. It is obviously thousands of years old. Potentially he could be Banksy. Ladies and gentlemen, as with my content, we have found the pub. There's the pub, ladies and gentlemen, the bar in Pompeii. Sat here, there's a table in the middle. Service is slow, unbranded pint glasses. Not a lot of life to it, not a lot of music. Gonna have to give this pub a 4. Still not as low as the Anchor in Borough Market. How fascinating, you know, the amount of people that used to drink here. Intriguing. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, the House of Venus from the Shell. I got that name because there's a painting of Venus being born from the shell. Just across the street from here was one of the bodies, one of the casts, preserved body. That's something I'm going to put on TikTok. It was quite sad, cowering in fear of the inevitable ending. Yeah, this is something I wanted to put on TikTok. It's a bit heavy for TikTok, I think. As I say, this is a walking grave. But to walk around here, where life once was, I mean, look at the colours of the walls have still survived. I'm not too sure how original those things are, whether they've just been put in here to show you what the room would have been used for. I simply just can't answer that. But look at the wall here. The houses. You know, they lived good. They lived good. It's fascinating, absolutely fascinating to be a part of this history, to be walking around. Look at the flooring. The detailing of the floors and how that's survived this long, this many years, is, you can't comprehend it. It's literally, you know, the surge come down, it literally froze everything in time. And as I say, there are bodies here, just a bit heavy, because a lot of them are in like a fetal fear position, and it's not particularly, I mean, it's particularly nice viewing. It's something that you should come to see, I think, definitely. I've got no words. Literally got no words. This here from ATBC is the oldest amphitheatre in the world. Still standing tall, still standing proud here in the beautiful city of Pompeii. To think the shows and things and the people that would have turned up here, the laughter, the joy that they would have shared as a community before their ultimate demise. There's the women of Pompeii in the 1st century BC, ladies and gentlemen, preserved in all their glory. Big up the women. Definitely do it, guys. Definitely do it. If you're in Rome or you're in Naples, it's 100% worth the money. Just went to what's called the Garden of Fugitives. There's 13 preserved bodies of families, children as well, who tried to escape through the city gates. Obviously couldn't escape the inevitable end. And just to mention how eerie it is walking down and seeing where the destruction come from up ahead, sort of wherever you are, wherever you look, Mount Vesuvius is there poking his head up over the city. There are obviously other towns that as well were destroyed and people killed that you can visit. Obviously Pompeii is the most famous of those, so definitely recommend doing it, ladies and gentlemen. We are here in the Lufar, which is where young women were obviously forced to work in a service which they weren't happy to work in. This is a house of, you know what, a paid service, and on the walls you can still see the pictures of what service and position you could pay for, essentially. Quite a sad one. The cost of a girl was equivalent to a glass of wine, would you believe it? Send me back in time. That's a joke, by the way. Just for throwing out there, that's a joke.